November 15th, Year 9. At 10:30 p.m. Entry number 65, Chapter 5, the second season. I've concluded that this date is officially the start of the second season. Not sure what I mean? Well, every TV show is divided into seasons and chapters, etc., if they last long enough. I believe, with Ben and I, we've lasted long enough and been through enough to consider this the second season of our show. This brings to mind a different question, though. If this is the beginning of the second season, then how did the first one end? And that's a good question. It turned out that our season finale was on Halloween night, appropriately timed. It was a decent day, and the argument literally seemed to come from out of nowhere as it arose and threatened to consume our friendship. I remember feeling unsafe simply being in proximity to him with sharp objects in his hand, car keys. Not through any fault of his, I suppose, but it was definitely a powerful night, with passions and fate stirring about us as we argued. Violent winds were blowing, and it had just started downpouring. Coincidence? I think not. It was almost too perfect of a scene. I'll leave most of the details out, but I will mention that in frustration I asked him to drive me home, and in anger he began to comply, but we persisted in talking on the way there, and something I said forced him to pull over into a vacant parking lot decked in shadows and perched on the edge of a forest where the winds and rains were just beginning to whip violently. It was all so perfect a scene. Beyond that, David O., a military Gemini, came back last Tuesday and I got to meet him in person this weekend. It went really well, and he's a pretty cool person. But me and Ben are at the place for karaoke, so I'm going to leave it at that for now. I suppose I'll write more when I've got more worth saying. Peace. January 8th, Entry 66, Year 10, at 4:08 p.m. New Year's and Transitions. As per usual, it's been a while since I've left an entry. A lot has happened and things are always changing. Woo! Let's see. Things didn't work out so well with David O. He began to fall for me, and I was wholeheartedly committed to the idea of being a single, independent free spirit when it came to him. He didn't agree, so he separated himself from me. We still chatted on AIM as friends occasionally, but he wasn't so keen on the idea of physically hanging or working out together because of his feelings for me and his attraction to me. Yes, we have had sex. In the bed, and in the basement. Recently, however, things have begun to get a little better between us. He moved out to Woonsocket, and with his own place, we've been AIM chatting a little bit more. I think he may be slowly coming around to the idea of us as friends with benefits, but still friends. Not sure, but I really would like to have him as a friend again. And with him getting over his feelings for me, I do wish him the best should he choose to pursue another. Also, I met a guy from online. His name was Steve G. When I first started talking to him, I found out he was in Florida for school, which was fair enough since he came back up here during breaks. Usually I only like to talk to internet people I might actually meet. Anyways, after talking on AIM for a bit, I only spoke with him intermittently afterwards because I felt he was really boring over AIM. Sorry. That still applies, but this Xmas vacation, he came up to visit and we started discussing things and getting to know each other better. I discovered that we had a few things in common, and actually he was a much more interesting person in person as opposed to my impression of him over AIM. Glad I decided to meet him. It turns out, despite certain physical detractions, he is slender, despite being 6'1", and he was very comfortable to cuddle with, not to mention having a good-sized and shaped member with a bulbous head. We were both tops, sadly, but for his brief stint up here, I very much enjoyed our time together, and though he didn't like sucking penis, I suppose he felt comfortable enough with me to actually want to try, which I am impressed with. I like him, and I would enjoy continuing to be his friend very much. Since he's heading back to Florida in 2 days, and he may intern down there over the summer, I wonder when the next time will be when I'll get to see him again. I'm sure these things happen for a reason, but it's still an interesting circumstance. Also, as a result of my stint with Steve G, I've got a new hypothesis. Since he was extremely relaxing and comfortable to cuddle with, I've developed the theory that it was since, or related to, the fact that we both have Virgo moons. So, my next astrological experiment will be to compare the comforting feeling, and its measure, that I get from him with other people who have earthy or Virgoan moons. Who knew my moon might play such a huge part in my happiness? Heh. uh, Beyond that, I currently work as a librarian at CCRI. The job is pretty decent, but I think the pay might have been better as a secretary. Or maybe I just worked more then. Who can say? Either way, I've got a source of supplementary income for the moment which has already benefited me in a few key ways. One of which is by allowing me to put up half of the money for a brand new fucking awesome laptop that's 4 times more powerful and faster than the netbook I'm currently working on. Sweet baby though it is. The other half of the price will be covered by a special program that helps individuals acquire durable assets, which laptops count as. Woot. My grandmother went to Paris 2 days ago, which was the same day I actually got off with Steve for the first time, and possibly last, I suppose, since he's leaving to Florida again. She's supposed to be back in 2 weeks, but who knows? Maybe she'll decide to stay with Frank, and if he makes her happy, as Ben pointed out, then I will be very happy for her. But also sad that she wouldn't be around anymore. As for Ben, yep, we're still hanging around. I found us spending less time together recently, but the time we do spend is more intimate and I do enjoy it. He's trying out a new medicine and testing it a little excessively, I think, because it's not possible to overdose, or so they say, quote unquote. Either way, it seems to do good things for him. We're still debating the fact that he believes I have Asperger's, and he recently told me that when he discusses some of the things that have happened to me in my life with his counselors or psychology people, they think I've had a sad/interesting life, which makes me A, laugh, and B, think, are they right? I realize it doesn't matter though. Only my own opinion does on the subject, but all the same, I remain curious. Did I leave anything out? Oh yeah, I saw Z yesterday. It was nice seeing him again, and as usual, he enjoys my presence and company, and I his. But as for the status of my feelings for him, I believe I will always love him. But at least I've grown to be content simply having him as a brother and having him acknowledge that most of the time. Ada and her daughter, Annie, are doing well. I'm also very happy for them. Ada is soon going to level up to 17 soon, and she's currently looking for a job and thinking about moving in with her baby's daddy, Derek. I have no opinion on this subject as of yet. I recently picked up the book Look Me in the Eye. It's about a guy who discovered he has Asperger's all his life when he was 40. Perhaps that will shed some light on a few things. Nothing else comes to mind at the moment, so I'll leave things as is and come back when I have more to say. Until then, TTYL, Z-Files.